Your Sasstastic Life with hosts Trisha Rivas and Wendy Fredrigo.
Hello.
Hello. I was like, which camera?
I know.
I'm over here and then over.
Just watching
Look,
you too.
hello. I'm
Let's
just
do
gonna
jazz
do
hands.
everybody.
Jazz hands.
Yeah, there we go.
We are so excited today
Yes.
to have these lovely ladies with us. We have Laura Todd
Hello.
and we have Courtney Perry. And they have been so supportive in being one of our half as sponsors
Yes. Yes.
for our event. So we
excited.
are excited to have you here
Yes.
to share who you are, what you want people to know, any goodness you want to share. We're here for it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yay.
So one of the things that we were talking about is, you know, we all start out on a path when we're 18 and try a few things, but a lot of times it isn't until adult life that we learn, hey, I want to try something different. So Laura, a lot of times people get to a space and they're like, I think I want to go back to school, or I think I want to get a different degree. So share with us what great things Buena Vista University does for us adult learners.
Right. And an adult learner looks different. It could be someone 20 years old coming out of community college or someone older than that, like you said, wants to go back to school. So BVU offers online undergraduate courses. If you want to finish your bachelor's degree or graduate courses, if you've already, have a degree and want to advance your degree, and it's fully online. So that's the really great part there. So it can be flexible, fit into your life. If you're already living, working, raising a family somewhere, you can get your degree right where you're at.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Share a little bit about, you went back to school later in life.
Yes.
You were, telling us a little bit about that. Why
Right.
don't you share with the viewer and listeners your story?
Yeah, definitely. So I started working at BVU 13 years ago and had the opportunity to go back and do online programs. It took me a few years, but that was just my pace, my story. And I finished my degree. And I was telling you, my son had started at the undergraduate, the 18-year-old. And so I walked the stage with his friends then. So it was kind of fun, but no, a great opportunity. And it's so cool when families come and cheer their mom or their dad on,
Gosh, yes.
It's awesome. And it's awesome at any point in your life when you graduate, but those are really special moments on campus for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, those would be.
They are. They really, that's why we're there, right?
Yes.
To help people, achieve their dream, finish their education.
Yeah.
So it's
Can
good
you
feeling.
share who's been your oldest student? Do you know?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. I do not know.
I would love to know that.
Okay, I will check into that.
I would love to know
We
that.
were talking about being a lifelong learner.
Yes.
So absolutely.
Yes.
Just, I mean, at any point in your life,
Yeah.
it never stops.
Yeah.
So.
All right. We'll have to find out.
Yes.
Have to find out the details.
Okay, we will do that. I love it.
So,
Absolutely fun.
so Courtney, you have Lady Luck's candles,
Yes.
but what were the experiences that you went through that prepared you for that moment where you're like, you know what? I'm going to do this.
Well, Lady Luck's Candles was actually birthed out of COVID. So prior to that is Privacy LLC, which is, I shouldn't say prior, but that's where it started.
Yeah.
But my start basically came from, working that job that you will not go anywhere else. But in this little box. And I'm not a person to sit in a box. And my daughter had graduated from high school and was off to college. So, I only have that one biological that was at home. And so it was like, what do you really do? Like, I had that epiphany, like, after you've had so much time to just dedicate to them, like, what do you do after they're out of the house?
Yeah.
And so I was in that scope and I got presented with an opportunity from a family friend. He does a barber show every year. And so he needed help and I hopped on board. Of course, it was more than what I had entailed it was going to be, but I fell in love with it. Like at the end of the day, your back's hurt, your feet hurt. And I'm just like, I could do this. I can make this happen. And so I just started getting out there. The company name is Privacy. I'm a pretty private individual when it comes to my life. I don't feel like you should have to put it all out there and it's none nobody's business. So Privacy LLC, that's where it came from. And, providing peace in people's lives. So we invest that. And so I just started on that journey and I registered my business and networking was my key tool to get out of my own space and get out of my comfort zone. And it really just took off. I showed up in spaces where I've never been before, helping other individuals, and I just fell in love with it. And the Lord has just continued to guide me to be where I am today. So it's been an amazing journey.
I love
I
it.
love it.
Yeah.
I think the whole mom journey is interesting.
Yeah.
We were saying it is kind of funny that you go to school at 18 when you don't know anything. Your brain's not fully developed. You're just figuring out who you are in the world. So you do that. And then usually most people get married or start having kids in their mid 20s, early 30s. You still don't know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're just trying to keep them alive,
Yeah.
keep them from burning the house down, keep them safe. You know, so all those things. And then they leave and you're like, what just happened?
Nothing. Like, whoa.
Who am I? What am I doing?
Yeah.
I stopped down at the little park down the street here just to do some work. And I don't know if she was the mom or, maybe the aunt, friend. I don't know. But the little boy was screaming in the back because he didn't want to leave the park.
Oh.
And I just kind of looked over at her and, just smiled, and she smiled back, and she's like, some days. And I thought, okay, she's probably the mom. And I thought, you got this.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And as I drove away, I said a little prayer for her.
Yes.
And that little boy.
Yeah. Because not only does mom need to get through this, but oh my goodness, you better stop before this. You might not get to go to the park anymore.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
Exactly. Yes, there might not be a park in your future.
Not at all.
That's something we should do as older moms. Every once in a while, just go to the park and just cheer on these young moms.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah.
You work with different ages
Mm,
every day.
Exactly.
Every day. So I'm sure there's times where you have to be more of a parent figure.
Yeah.
Do you feel like
it
you
kinda
ever
really
have to?
just depends.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think it takes a whole team of people,
Oh
right?
my gosh, yes.
Whether you're parenting, going
Mhm.
back to school, I mean, you
Mhm.
just need people cheering you on to do
Yes.
that for sure. So I think at any age, when you're attending school,
Yeah.
you kind of just need those cheerleaders,
Yeah.
those people to say, you can do it.
Mhm.
Don't give
Yes.
up. Take a
Yes.
break if you need to. And that's what's
Yes.
nice about online. Take a
Mhm.
break this term. Come back in next time and
Yeah.
we'll get you going again. So
Yeah, that's a
I
great
agree.
point.
Yeah.
That's a great point. They're not failing.
No.
They haven't given up.
right.
It's just not the right time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We do need to
Yeah.
hear that more as
Yeah.
humans
We
too,
do
don't we?
definitely. I wish
do.
somebody was there to tell me that when I
Uh-huh.
was
I
going
would
through school,
agree.
because I was always just go.
Right.
I'm gonna
You
figure it
figure-
out. But
Mhm.
that little break would have helped.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Like you said, you're not always sure what you want to
No.
do, and life happens. I always say that life happens.
yeah.
People shouldn't
Mhm.
apologize for when they need a break, right? And that's
Mhm.
so hard because we're wired
Yes.
a
Yeah.
different way.
Oh yeah, most
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, and Courtney too, with owning our own businesses, there's many times where, at least I should probably speak for myself personally, where I feel like I failed.
Oh yeah.
And it isn't. It's just
Oh, yeah.
an area of an opportunity.
Oh, my
It's all
goodness.
about how you look at it.
You
Yep.
can preach to the choir all day.
Mhm. Mhm.
Did I do that right?
Oh,
Well, should I have done it this way? Or-
yes.
man. And as a business owner, it's like it's your business.
Mhm.
So you really don't have that person to go to as your advisor unless you have a coach.
Mhm.
But really, you're just that person that's making those decisions, trial and error, keeping it going. And you're just well, yeah. I mean, the funny thing about it, I'm sure that you have done this. Like, well, I tried it. Didn't work.
Right?
Money's gone. On to the next thing.
Yes.
Like literally, I produce products, so I'm gonna try this out.
Mhm.
Throw it out
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
Didn't work. We're gonna take that off the line.
Yep.
So I mean, it's just touch and go sometimes. But
It's a good lesson, and
Mhm.
perfection is not something that we should strive for.
No.
Oh
just,
my gosh,
just doing
yes.
it. you know?
Yes. Yes. And humility and grace.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
I think the
my.
thing that I love, Laura, about online learning is I'm not a morning person.
Ooh.
So with
Hey,
I would
preach to
assume
the
in
choir.
some ways with online learning, like I don't have to get up at 6 a.m.
Right.
I can go in and do this when I'm more of a night person. So
Absolutely.
I think that's the other benefit of
Yes.
online learning is, like you said, your schedule, your times of day that you're
Mhm.
on. a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, the classes are structured, don't get me wrong, but yes, when it works for you to do those things and get your work done is definitely on your time. So online does offer that great flexibility too.
Yes.
Definitely.
And then tell us a little bit about the strategic partnerships
Yeah.
and how that works.
Sure. So that's a newer division of the university. We started that about 3 years ago during COVID too, getting that up and started. But we work with different organizations in our state and outside of our state to offer education benefits to all of their employees and their eligible family members. So it's really nice. They get a discounted rate to come to BVU, take our undergraduate programs or a master's in organizational leadership programs through BVUs. So we talked about the cost of education. So this gives them some savings there to attend BVU. So it's been awesome to grow that and see people take advantage of that benefit and again, continue their educational journey. So yeah, it's been great to learn more about organizations and all the great things that are happening in our state, whether it's one person, running their own business or a large organization with 17,000 employees. So
that's amazing.
awesome.
I didn't know that was offered. That's something that I'm going to have to look into for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, benefits these days, I mean, you really do have to be competitive with your employees. So
and include their family members. I love that we include their family members too, that they, maybe it's not for you to go back to school, but your child's going on or your spouse or, then they can benefit too.
Oh yeah.
It's the perks. You got to check
it
into
is.
it.
It is.
Is it going to benefit me as a whole?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So what advice would you give single moms? I mean, now that you're on, she's like, we're going to need a lot more time, Wendy.
We're going to have to come back. We're going to have to do 2 or 3.
Yeah, we're going to have to take segments on this one. Single moms. I definitely would say don't give up on your dreams. You might have to put them on hold, but don't give up. Like, a lot of women may have, there's those structured where you plan your pregnancy, but of course a high percentage of them is not. And so you have to put things on hold or you feel as if you're never going to get back to that point, but you'll get back to that point. My self-care workbook, the work-life balance, is to bring your family into what it is that you're wanting to do so that it's not feeling like it's separate. Like I need to try and do this, but I still have to know. You can incorporate your kids, your husband, and everything that you want to do, especially with open communication, and still continue to be able to do what you dream to be. So don't give up.
So talk a little bit about the book.
The self-care workbook.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. So my self-care workbook that I created it's called Be Your Authentic Self. And it is a workbook to you go through and be real with who you are. We live in a technology world where you can plaster yourself to be this person that is the greatest person in the world, but really behind the scenes, you're suffering. And it's a journey that I have walked through, and I will say that I'm still walking through it. And it starts with, putting yourself first in your health and your mental. First and foremost, it's taking care of yourself and understanding where your body is going. For me, I will say, going over the hump of 40 years old, your body does not act the same. Okay. And my hustle and bustle of last year, it kind of broke me down. So I'm struggling with, being real with, going to my doctor's appointments and, being able to say, when the body shut down, the body shuts down, and then just working your way through trying to find it out who you are, what it is that you want to be when you grow up, finding those people who are missing in your life to bring that positive, removing the people that are in your life. A huge thing that I tell people is the reasons that you're not seeing any type of positive is because somebody is holding you back. And it could be your own family members that are closest to you who are usually the ones that are trying to, keep that negativity in your life. And you may have to set boundaries. Yeah. So the workbook is really just sitting down and being honest with yourself and working your way through it. Yeah.
I love that. So truly a labor of love.
Yes.
So speaking of advice, like what advice would you give someone who's like, can I go back to school? How do I even do that? What does that look like? Like, what advice would you give someone who's 30, 40, 50?
you're thinking about it, pursue it. Like you said, don't give up on your dream. See what it's about. Maybe, get in touch with someone, find someone to talk to about it, whether it's at the college, someone you know that's done it. But seriously, at BVU, there is a team of people to help you, which is awesome. Just start that conversation and figure out if it's a good fit for you. Like we talked before we started filming, everybody's story is different.
Yeah.
Don't feel judged about coming back when you're 30, 40 years old. There's resources to help you. I remember writing my first paper. It was terrifying, but there are people to help you do that. So it's like we've been saying, don't give up on your dream, give yourself some grace, find some people to cheer you on, and you can do it. And what a good feeling when you get your degree or, finish that class you wanted to take. And at the end, you've got those people still cheering you on and get to go do what you want to do in life. So it's exciting. Yeah.
I would love to know what would be some advice for small business owners that are thinking about wanting to open up their own small business.
Oh, goodness. Man.
Some words of wisdom.
Plan strategically and ask for help.
Oh,
Boom.
Nice.
Mic drop.
That's it.
And like you said, ask for help. If you are going back to school, ask for help.
Yeah.
You have to have help, right? I mean,
We all need
nobody
to ask for help.
Yeah. Do it alone.
Well, we appreciate you guys being a part of our event.
So much. We're excited to attend.
I know.
This is great.
It's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be great. It's just going to, the energy is going to be great. And I just,
that right there,
right?
The energy.
Yeah.
Just being in a room full of people that support each other in a world that's divisive. Like, I'm excited for us to show people that it can happen, that we can just have a vision to just get together and support each other.
Cheering each other on.
Yeah.
As you had said earlier.
Yeah.
Thanks for what you do. This is great to be a part of.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys got something going here.
Yes.
Okay.
You do.
I'm excited.
We hope so. We're working on it.
We are.
We are doing it. You're already doing it. You're not working on anything.
No.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But that's our next thing is get some pom-poms, go to the park and cheer on these young moms.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I love that idea.
We're there for it. We're there for it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's got to be a thing. What park are you going to? We're here to cheer you today.
Yes.
Okay. We've got snacks.
Snacks. Gotta have the snacks.
Okay. As you leave, we've got a great gift package for you when you get home because you're going to need that after they take their nap. Yeah.
There you
I'm
go.
all for that.
See,
It's
idea.
fantastic.
Someone take it, run with it.
Yep. The idea generators right here.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
coming on.
I have Doreen McVeigh in the house today. Woo, 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 woo. Do, 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 do. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
So am I supposed to say hi?
You can say whatever you want.
Hello.
Doreen.
It's good to be here.
I am so excited to have you here
Yeah,
for multiple reasons.
Yep.
You're a dear friend. You're a fellow coach. You're a badass business owner. I mean, what else? What else do you need?
Humbled.
Well, you're amazing. So let's just dive in.
Okay.
So here at Sasstastic Life, we like to talk about the hard shit because I truly feel that other people can relate some way to other people's stories and it helps them feel like they're not alone.
Yep. Absolutely.
Right. And so it's like, oh man, they went through something hard. I can do that too.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about, most people at this point in our lives have a lot of hard shit. But we had talked about something that you would maybe want to share, something hard that you went through career-wise.
Yeah. Yeah. So life's full of hard stuff, isn't it? Right. So I think probably I've always been really driven by work, professional life. And so one of the things that was the hardest for me, even recently, was just making the leap from a corporate role to being an entrepreneur, moving to a new city, graduating kids, life transition moments, and having all that happen at once was really overwhelming and extremely humbling. And so, yeah, that would be what I would say would be something I still am kind of like learning from that experience. So, but you got to take risk. You got to jump into hard. because that's where you grow and that's where you know, develop the most about yourself. So as a coach, I really believe like stepping into hard is really important.
Yeah.
Not
So,
fun, not fun, but
mm-mm.
you know, important, important.
So how long were you in the corporate space? How many years?
Yeah, 25.
Yep.
No, 28. Don't do the math on the age.
Yeah, we won't do that.
I started really young.
You were
but
10.
Yeah, I was old. Worked a long time. But I worked for 2 major companies. And so I had a lot of stability and big companies,
And a
global
title.
company. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had worked my way up and it was really great. I mean, I loved every part of it. And really looking back on it, there's such fond memories. And so I have absolutely no regrets from living in that space. So, you know, like you and I have talked about our journeys where you get that voice that tells you you're not where you're supposed to be right now. And we can either fight that or we can lean into it. Right. And so, about 3 years before I left, I had heard that, like, you're not supposed to be here. And I was really confused why I was getting that voice because I was like, everything had been working really good. And so why was it not working so good?
Yeah.
Right. And I think that was the nudge. And I remember being put in this position to reorganize our organization. So I was kind of the person helping the leader reorganize. And so I reorganized myself out of a job, essentially is what I did. And, you know, he came back and he said, you know, are you sure you want to do this? And I'm like, yeah, I think now is the time to do it. And so I worked with him on kind of reorganizing the department and removing my role and kind of combining some things. So I went in and I had this pit in my stomach and it was like part excitement and part like terrified fear of what I was going into because I didn't know. And I was in a new city, so I didn't know anybody. This was a big deal to say, or you know, because I could have stayed for a while and then just retired, right? That would have
Yes.
been the plan. That would have been the normal plan, is just stay and you know, retire from a different role. And who knows what that would have looked like? I don't know.
Yeah.
But then taking that leap, and I remember the first year was just so hard and so humbling. I didn't have any friends. I was in a new town with no friends here.
Yeah.
And, you know, in my previous role, I had lots of professional friends. The other thing that I kind of noted was people gave me credibility because of my title and because of what I did, and nobody knew that here. So there was no credibility behind me. And I was in this new town with no friends, no credibility behind my experience or background or accomplishments. And so personally, it just, I felt like, and being a person of faith, I felt like God was just saying, you know, we're going to wipe away everything and just put you on your knees and we'll build you back up to how I think you can really serve. And so, you know, that first year was just really hard. And
Is it like an identity crisis type of thing? Like,
of
who am I
course.
without this?
Yes,
Who am I without this?
absolutely.
You're just Doreen.
Yeah. And we and I've seen this a lot as a coach, but also, you know, experienced it. We define ourselves by what we do and how people respond to us and, you know, like the accolades that we get and our comparison to others, all of that stuff is how we define ourselves. And it was the first time that I've just had to say, I get to define myself as who I am, as a child of God, as a human being on this earth, and who I want to be. Like I get to define myself by who I want to be. And so, yeah, it was just a really almost a great time, but a really hard time. And like I said at the beginning, you know, we got to lean into hard because when we lean into hard, that's when we really can embrace our full, what we're supposed to be and who we're supposed to be in the world.
Yeah.
So then I put out my sign, "We'll work for food."
And friends.
Yeah, we'll work for food and friends. And you know, I had to hold my head high, and because I knew that I did. I felt like, wow, who am I in this new network of Des Moines, Iowa? And I just said, you know what? Just go out and start meeting people and connecting with people and finding friends. So I joined NABO, and
Yep.
NABO was so awesome. And it really was a different kind of women vibe. In corporate, you have all of the competition and all the different agendas and all that stuff that you're having to weave through. And when you're an entrepreneur woman here, trying to build a business, everybody just comes around and supports you.
Yeah. So
And
for listeners, NABO stands for the National Association of Women Business Owners.
absolutely,
Yes.
yeah. And
It's a national, but there's an Iowa chapter as well.
absolutely. And it was, I started doing some research to say, where would I find other women who were doing things like me? And so I joined that, and I did go to some of the Fem City events and joined Fem City. I just started going all in on finding friends and finding the kind of business I wanted to be in. And I had this vision of how I didn't want to just be a coach. I wanted to have a coaching company. I
Mhm.
didn't like working alone, and I wanted to have people around me. So I developed, I've always had a vision of a coaching collective, meaning other coaches that join and work under a common brand.
Yep.
And so for the first, I would say, 4 years or so, I just focused on myself being a coach, building networks, building income, building my, credibility as a coach, building products, and building the vision of the company.
Mhm.
And then the last couple of years, I've really transitioned that to not only just being a coach, but really leaning into building the business that I want to have, which is the collective. Because I really want to help other coaches who are like me, just going, how am I going to do this? And so the collective is designed to be like a turnkey business for coaches where they come in and they work under a common brand. And they work under a common philosophy. And so, like my philosophy is everybody's got a light. Everybody's got a really, really bright light.
Yep.
There's just so much in this world dimming it.
Yep.
And so and that's why I'm a coach, is because I know that. And I want to help other people see their light and see how beautiful they are, like you. Yes. I mean, look at
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Yeah.
And just, let that flow. Let that,
Mhm.
because what kind of world would we live in if everybody stepped into their next step and their passion and
Yes.
where they're supposed to be going, and they did it in a way that let their light fully shine, breaking through the fears, and
Yep.
and having that support around them is really important. So that's kind of where I see my role is as a coach, as a champion, is walking beside people, and when it gets hard, to say, yeah, it gets hard, but guess what?
Keep going.
You can do it, and
Yes.
you have got it in you to
Yep.
do it.
Amen. Yes. We've both had teary moments as business owners.
Yeah, it's
And
hard.
you have to have a network
Mm.
of people that get it, that know what that looks like, and support each other. Well, thank you so much for stepping up and supporting Trisha and I, and being a
Yes.
FSAS sponsor for
I
our
love it.
event. Like, we're just so excited to show up and shine light and create that space
Yeah.
just for 3 hours.
I love what you're doing. I love that. I've always loved what you're doing. It doesn't matter if it's this or other things. I love your heart. I love the heart that you have to support others. I love the love and laughter you bring to the world. We got to laugh.
Oh.
And so I'm always trying to find
Yes.
ways to bring that into my life, because I'm not inherently funny. Although I went on a trip recently and my cousins laughed. So
You are funny.
no, but I like to have people around that make me laugh,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I love that you guys laugh and bring laughter to the world. So thank you for being my friend.
Yes, thank you for being my friend. And as Jimmy Buffett said, if we couldn't laugh, we would all go insane.
Yes,
So
for sure.
rest in peace, Jimmy.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Hello, everybody. We are here with Jenny Wales, the owner of Ocean Breeze Wellness and Massage. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
This lovely lady is one of our half Sass sponsors. And I have had the pleasure of being on your table multiple times. And let me tell you, wow. So, one of the things that I think is so amazing about you and differentiates you from other places is everything is very purposeful as far as how you feel the minute you walk in the door.
Mhm.
So, if you kind of want to set the scene for us, now I realize you are moving to a new space.
I am.
So
October.
that's very exciting. But I'm assuming you're going to kind of set things up the same way. So tell us a little bit about why you set things up that way, like the reason behind how you set up your room and how things feel when you walk in.
My practice is very focused on the nervous system and how that's maybe causing some of your physical stress.
Yeah.
So when you walk in, I want you to feel like you're on vacation. You don't have to think about what's going on in your life, the next meeting, got to go pick up the kids. I've got 30 things on my list to do today. I want you to come knowing that this is somebody that's going to take care of me and make me feel better for this next hour, hour and a half, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So ocean breeze, right? It's one of my happy places. So ocean themed. You're coming into a bungalow, complete with sounds, the way it looks, the way it feels. And it's very calming.
Yeah. And I love, so you have it's ocean waves
Mhm.
and a light fan, but there's no music,
Mm-mm.
which is great because you really do lose your sense of time, which is what most of us need.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you even have like a change of songs or a beat in the music, because, time signatures, all that, subconsciously, there's time ticking by. People don't realize why they get so comfortable in my space when they come multiple times.
Yeah.
Because your body gets used to, it recognizes, oh, I feel good here. I don't have to worry about anything here.
Yes. Everything about your space is intentional.
Mm-hmm. Very.
And I love the ocean too. So it was that much more.
Well, even, like I've brought it up to you before. That's why I don't have music.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to have a sense of time. I don't want you to think, oh,
Yes.
I've got to be here in an hour. I wonder how much time has passed. I can hear like the
I know there's been
This
5
is the next
songs.
song. Yeah. So I don't want you to have I want you to feel like I'm here to just let someone take care of me.
I would love to know just what is the importance of calming our nervous system, because all of us have stress. There's always something going on. But what are some little things that are important for people to do to calm their nervous system besides getting a massage? Or what do you recommend that people do in between visits to kind of help tap into that?
The important thing about this conversation is stress is like a super general word.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm stressed. Like I hold my stress in my shoulders. But stress is super bad for your body. And if you think about it like in acting exercise, if somebody says, okay, show me with your body that you're sad, what posturally are you going to do?
Kind of go forward.
Okay. If you are stressed, that big buzzword.
Yes, I definitely feel myself kind of just like.
Okay. So with all these emotional stress words, you are showing me what those are, what those look like physically, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how stress affects your physical body, because you do things, your body, your nervous system is telling your body to protect itself. Like fetal position, I'm afraid. Like you do, your nervous system is doing that. It's trying to protect you, right?
Yep.
So if we're in a constant state of stress, you're doing that constantly, right? You're getting no relief from that. That's where it causes like major chronic problems, is because you're never giving your nervous system a break from that. So when you come to see me and we give you an hour that we can deactivate that stress response.
Yep.
Fight, flight, freeze. And, help it realize, oh, I'm not supposed to be in that state all the time. Then you can create muscle memory on how to get yourself out of that stress response that you probably weren't even aware that that was something you should try to be doing, is getting yourself out of that stress response. But we're usually in that 100% of the time.
So it's like our normal.
Yeah.
It reminds me of by day 2 or 3 of a vacation, all of a sudden you finally realize that you are relaxed and you're like, wait, this is what relaxed feels like.
Right.
But if you never let yourself feel relaxed, your norm becomes that stressed.
Right. It's basically trying to retrain you.
Yeah.
And so then when you come back from multiple sessions, like let's say you see me once a month or quarterly or, whatever the case may be, why you feel that when you walk in the door is because you've already had an experience there that your body and your nervous system felt good with.
Yep.
So you walk in the door and it's like, oh, like, thank you. And so the more you do those kinds of things, whether it's with me or you create something like that for yourself, a routine, that's wonderful for your nervous system.
I love that. That makes sense. We have to train ourselves to know what calm feels like.
And you have to create intention, because when you involve your brain in any of that, it's going to tell your nervous system and the rest of you like, oh, yes, I need to do this. I can do this. That power of intention or the secret or all of that stuff.
Yep.
I basically started looking at massage schools as a way out of farming and went to Body Wisdom. A year later, graduated, had no intention of going into practice by myself right away. I didn't really make a plan for that either, but like we lived in Beaverdale, we're walking around. There's a perfect little space for one person. Signed a lease before I even had my boards passed. So thank God I passed. Like it was crazy. But I just rented the space, passed my boards, did it part-time because I worked for the city. That was a crazy time though when I was going through school, because I had a full-time job. I went through a temp agency when I moved to Des Moines to get a job. So I worked an 8-hour job. Then I went to school at night during the week and sometimes on weekends. And then I got a part-time job at FedEx from 3 to 7:30 in the morning. So I got 4 hours of sleep, 5 hours of sleep for a year while I was in school. So that was, and then I met my now husband during that whole time. So try dating when you get 4 hours of sleep, but that was when I stopped hitting snooze though, because when I stayed over at his house, I did that once and he's like, yeah, no, you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. No,
I'm not going
to,
you can't be snoozing at 3 a.m. I love it. So
speaking of, it's super weird when people have their eyes open.
If you're on your back getting a massage, keep your eyes closed.
Well, it's just for me in particular, it's one thing, I guess, if you know the person really well, and you're kind of on friendly terms.
Yes.
And you're having a conversation, whatever. Yeah. But it's just, I don't know. It throws me off because I'm like, what are they why don't look at me? What if I have a booger in my nose? What?
That's so funny you say that, because when I was a hairstylist, normally when you shampoo someone's hair, they're like, oh, that feels so good. Their eyes are closed. But sometimes people would just be staring.
I know. It's so weird.
I'm like, you're supposed to relax.
I know. And that, again, my kind of massage treatment, I want you to be relaxed.
That's where you get a warm towel and just lay it on top of their eyes.
That's an idea. Hey, maybe in the new space.
Yes, cover up their eyes. Thank you so much for supporting us.
Absolutely.
At our live event.
One of my favorite people.
We're so excited.
Your Sasstastic Life is produced by Apex VO. Go to apexvo.com. That's APEXXVO.